Welcome everyone back to another episode of How Much Money Can We Lose Monarch Mondays. Hope you guys are having a great day. We're going to talk about Monarch market update. If you want access to all this information as a collection tracker, as well as access to a Discord server where we have games and have a lot of fun, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. You also get access to a 10% off discount code over at Midtown Merchant. So let's hop in and see what we can accomplish with these singles to see what the value of everything going on is. Right now for sealed product, it's kind of a weird world. We are starting to see significant decreases, significant being like 3 to 4%. We're at 2 or 3 weeks here in a row of decreases. This is the time right here, July 12th, around when Rudy said that he would start buying boxes at $200, and that caused a initial market reaction. That's kind of cooled off now, and we're still kind of trailing off in value a little bit since then. So meanwhile, something happened on TCG Player where either the boxes were removed under map. I'm assuming LSS reached out to some of the stores that were selling below map, and now boxes on TCG Player are back at around $75. So sealed boxes around $250, unlimited around $75. Just keep in mind that the sealed boxes, there is quite a few on the market, and they vary in price structure. So there's a lot on the market, but at $250 there's not a ton. So just keep all that in mind. These are going to be volatile over the next couple months, I think. All right, let's talk about the Fable, the great library of Solana. Good week for Solana right now. A lot of conversation happening about is this something that crypto money is going into? I saw a good dialogue about that on Facebook today. There was one that sold for $1,500 on TCG Player. There were two that sold, one at $1,375, I think, and one that sold for $1,200. I think the $1,375 was a 9.0 graded, but the one that sold on TCG Player for $1,500 kind of solidifies that price. So I put it at $1,375, kind of split the gap between all the prices that I saw, but a lot of action on the great library of Solana this week. Meanwhile, the unlimited one is also ticking up a little bit. It's starting to see a little bit of play. I think that's causing a little bit more confidence in the card overall, specifically for the unlimited version. So let's talk about first edition. Let's see, is it worth it to open up a box of first edition if you're sitting around $250 per box? Let's hop in and see what the value of all the cards are and see what the estimated value would be, or the expected value, whatever you want to call it. So right now, all the legendaries kind of soft. Footsteps dropping down 12%. Carrion Husk dropping down 13%. Vestige of Soul down 6%. Valiant Dynamo down 12%. Eclipse down 25%. Doomsday down 18%. A lot of softness, a lot of cards being sold as auctions, a lot of things going on that are causing some of that. All in all, we are down 13% on the market. We had a couple weeks in a row where it wasn't down. 2 weeks ago, the Footsteps kind of ticked up 19%. So we're seeing a little bit of retracements. I think we're also probably starting to see some Tales of Aria money. Some people who are like, oh, okay, if I can sell one of these cold foils, then I can end up making my money back to buy a whole case of, or half a case or whatever it is, of Tales of Aria. You're probably starting to see some of that happen. But a lot of downwards pressure on the legendaries for an average of $211. Footsteps still holding that as the most valuable. It's interesting. We've seen a switch in unlimited, so it'll be interesting to see if the switch happens for first edition too, where the Carrion Husk will become more valuable than the Footsteps, because that's what's going on with unlimited, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes. The regular cold foils, you've got Luminaris ticking up for some reason. There was a couple sold listings around the 375 mark. I think one was 260. I think one even popped up for 400. So I kind of split the gap there. Galaxy Black altered at 500. Luminaris, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, that is one of the most beautiful cards in the set. It's always been the most valuable. That's not the alternate art of the Majestic cold foils. But the rest of these aren't too soft either. I think we're kind of approaching a bottoming price for some of these Majestic cold foils. I've myself been toying around with the idea of like dollar cost averaging my own purchases, because I bought them at much more expensive than this, so I could dollar cost average and get my values down. So it seems like these are approaching low prices. I would not go crazy on them, just because they could continue to just kind of slowly drip too. I just don't see these tanking from any of the current prices. And Luminaris is one of those weird ones where it had like a spike, even after the downfall, it had a spike, and then it lost some more, and then it bounced off, and then it lost some more. So this might just be another one of those spikes that's going to balance off and then drop some more. So just be careful if you're purchasing any of this stuff. Your average Majestic cold foil price is $253. Looking at the common cold foils, some softness here, down 2.5% to an average of $51. You've still got Halo of Illumination holding value over at $78. Lots of those moving. I think the lowest on TCG Player is like 90 some. So it seems to be the kind of sought after common cold foil of the set. You got Ebb and Fold, that's kind of up there too, but lost a little bit of value this week. Dreamweavers actually went up in value. Time Skippers dropping down. Hooves of the Shadow Beast dropping down. Stubby Hammers dropping down. Ironhide and Ironplay. I actually had a thought with the idea of commoner format. Will these kind of, if that sticks around, if that picks up some traction, will these kind of be sought after as people like to bling out their pauper decks in Magic? And then will that happen in commoner? I'm not sure. But this is kind of the prices that we're at right now. Your average is $51, down 2.5%. Nothing huge. Kind of par for the course right now with Monarch. Looking at the first edition extended art rainbow foils, a lot of softness this week. We're down 14% on average to an average of $181. Herald of Erudition sold for $240 on eBay. I think that was an auction. I think that might have been it, or it was the best offer. I can't remember exactly what happened. Mark of the Beast sold for $130. That's down 13%, and there were no sales for Lumina Ascension. So a lot of softness there. You saw these prices just kind of plummet and then stay steady for a while, and then now they've dropped for a couple weeks in a row. Looking at the rainbow foil Majestics, down 13% to an average of $15.41. You're starting to see these the generic ones start to gain value, whereas the classic specific ones are kind of dropping. And the lower value ones are dropping and the higher value ones are gaining. It's just kind of a weird world. Soul Shield being a card that's seeing a lot of play right now, and Exude Confidence seeing a lot of play right now. Celestial Cataclysm's holding off. You'll see Unlimited's kind of going up, but this one's not really doing much. But Soul Shield and Exude Confidence seem to be the cards to be on the lookout for right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Nourishing Emptiness too, as that is another generic Majestic in the set. And I think the Unlimited version's starting to kind of gain some traction as well. So let's hop into the regular Majestics then. Your average price is actually up 8% to an average of just over $5. Like I said, Nourishing Emptiness, starting to see some play. It's interesting that the rainbow foil hasn't quite caught on to the in the price changes. Maybe something weird's going on there. The regular one tends to be similar pricing to the unlimited version, whereas the rainbow foils seem to be exaggerated. So must be just the players that are purchasing it right now. Soul Shield is up to 26% to $19. Celestial Cataclysm is up. Nourishing Emptiness is up. Shadow Puppetry still has a ton of value. So keep in mind, a lot of those generic ones are starting to see play. They're starting to see people figure out how to use them, and that has significant changes to the marketplace. Your average regular Majestic price is sitting at $5.09. Looking at your rares, keep in mind I use TCG low pricing for the rares and for the commons. So right now your rares that are ticking up in price are Battlefield Blitz, Herald of Triumph, Battlefield Blitz, Tremor of Varathiel. You're starting to see some Warrior and Prism cards pick up play. I think anyone who is gonna play Chain probably already picked up the cards, probably already committed to Chain. Now you're starting to see some Prism builds be successful on the road to Nationals. You're starting to see some Warrior builds be successful on the road to Nationals. I think we have one more week of road to Nationals, so after that I'm not sure we're going to see as many spikes in price and movement in price, based on the idea that we won't be seeing new deck lists come out and text for that stuff. So just keep that in mind. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks as road to Nationals wraps up. Looking at the regular rares, we're up a little bit too. Same kind of idea. Vexing Malice is actually up on the unlimited rares. I actually wanted to mention that it was down on the rainbow foil. Did I pop that up? Vexing Malice. I thought I made that Vexing. It's actually down on the regular rainbow foil pricing for some reason. It's down to $252, which is down 10%. So the rainbow foil is down, whereas the non-foil is up. So if you're looking to pick up a rainbow foil, this seems like the week to do it. Nothing huge to talk about. Let's talk about the first edition foil commons. Talisman of Dowsing, losing some value, everyone. Losing some value. That meme must be dead. The meme must not be a dream anymore. Bolts of Courage Courageous Steel Hand, Seek Enlightenment, Wartune Herald, Riftbind. You're seeing, Chain. You're seeing Bolton. You're seeing Prism. All these cards are all these heroes are seeing significant play in Road to Nationals, and that's causing some increases in all the cards, especially as people try to bling out their deck to get ready for the Nationals. So let's pick up the first edition EV then. What are we doing with it? So you can see we have a weird opportunity this week where the rest of the cards that aren't, the Majestics and the rare cards are going up in value, but the legendaries and the Fable are going down in value. Well, the Fable didn't go down in value. But the legendaries have a ton. You see how much room these legendaries take up in this EV. So when the legendaries drop value, we're seeing if you include them, it's actually down. But if you don't include them, it's actually up because of the way that this all works. So right now, it's still definitely not worth it to open up a $250 box. On average, if you include everything, if you include the rainbow foil commons, but not the commons, on average, you'd be sitting at $230 per box. That's if you open 40 box and you pull a library. If you're only going to open one case, on average, your case would net you about $196 per box. That does not include the Fable, but it does include the legendaries. But then if you take out the legendaries, you're just opening up one box. You'd be sitting at $123, which is actually up, like I said, based on the other things. So just keep in mind, everything hinges on hitting a legendary, and it's probably not worth it to open up boxes of first edition. So let's move on over. If you want to take a look at this and look at your own, first off, I have a collection tracker. It's on patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. If you want to just look at the EV and take out the commons or take out the cold foils or whatever, go to ev.kitchentable.tcg. It's a free tool for the whole community to use. Let's go to the unlimited side of things. Right now, legendaries are in kind of a weird spot. You've got Carrion Husk that has now transcended above Phantasmal Footsteps, starting to dry up in the marketplace. A lot of people playing Chain, a lot of people using this card, and it's a necessary card in the deck in order to have an optimized deck list. So Carrion Husk going up 17% to 170, whereas the Footsteps kind of holding its value 160 to 165. Vestige of Soul also down to 122. Eclipse is down to 65. I saw a Doomsday sell on Facebook for $35. Jeez. So keep in mind, these are highly spiky. If you hit a Carrion Husk, you're going to be feeling good. If you hit a Doomsday, you hit a legendary that's a Doomsday, that's not going to feel good in a case. Just keep that in mind. Right now, though, everything's kind of up to an average of $105 for the legendaries. Looking at the Rainbow Foil Majestics then, like I said, we're up on some of these lower value Majestic cards for Unlimited. By lower value, I mean comparing it to first edition. So the Rainbow Foil pricing, we're actually up to $7.01. And a lot of the times this average will line up closer with the first edition non-foil average, but you can see the first edition non-foil average is $5, and this one is where'd it go, is $7. So a lot of times that'll line up, and right now it's starting to drift, even though both of them are up this week. Anyway, let's go back to the point here. Nourishing Emptiness starting to see some play, up to $23. It could have just been bought out. I don't know what happened. It kind of went up super fast. So by the time this video goes live, you may see some that are available for cheaper than that on TCG Player. But currently, when I was doing this, I pull up TCG Player. I see the current market price. I see the sold listings, and then I take the lowest. If there's a one available for lower than the sold listings, I use that one. Anyway, currently in the market right now, $23 is where we're at. Meanwhile, Luminaris losing some value, Soul Shield going up in value, Celestial Cataclysm going up in value, Rating kind of holding true. So your average is sitting at $7. Looking at your regular Majestics then, we're also up here to an average of $4.30. You're seeing a lot of Bolton cards. There was a couple good Bolton lists. Team Kitchen Fable had 2 victories and either 3 or 4 top 4s this past weekend. So a great week for Team Kitchen Fable. But Bolton's seen a lot of winning. You're starting to see a lot of different decks pop in, and so people are trying them out and buying the cards. I know there's a dash deck that's going around too, so a lot of these things are starting to be net decked and picked up and purchased. So Nourishing Emptiness going up 50% to an average of $16. Soul Shield up 17%, average of $16. You can see kind of where the price points are there. Looking at your rainbow foil rares, then a lot of the same that happened with first edition. You're starting to see some of the heralds, merciful retribution. You're seeing the top list here. Nothing huge to talk about. I mean, I guess you could make an argument there's a significant prism stuff going on, but there's also a vexing malice on there, so hard to tell from just the TCG low pricing. Looking at your regular rares, kind of same thing. You're seeing Vexing Malice, you're seeing the Bolting cards, you're seeing the Prism cards. You guys catch the drift here. Let's take a look at the foil commons, see if there's any significant changes. This is, Spew Shadow gained tons of pricing, but the lowest was 3 cents last week. So, it's not really that big of a deal. Wartune Herald, though, Herald of Ravages, again, a lot of Prism cards starting to increase in value. Your most valuable card is still your Halo of Illumination. Interesting to see some of those equipment pieces holding the value compared to Unlimited from WTR and ARC. Those are not holding as much value as the Monarch ones. So, super interesting there. So, let's take a look at your EV then per box. Your True EV includes the regular commons. Do not do that. Take this one right here. This includes everything. If you were to open 40 boxes, includes the Fable, includes all the common rainbow foils, you'd be sitting at $101.21. If you take out the Fable, you're just opening a case, you're not going to hit a Fable, you'd be sitting at $94. But if you're just going to open one box, you'd be sitting at $60. So right now, the case is definitely the way to go. Keep in mind, though, if you open a case and your legendary is, if you open a case, see how much value this averages out. This average EV, it adds $35 to the EV per box. So, per box, if you're opening a case, that's $140. So if you don't hit the legendary, if you hit one of these legendaries that's below the $100 price point, you're actually going to lose money. So it's still a gamble. You're still gambling on hitting a high value. If all these legendaries were $75, it would be less of a gamble. But because they're all different pricing, you have a $170 one. It's all a gamble still. So make sure you're careful if you're going to open up boxes. But right now, definitely probably worth it. Open Monarch cases. It's funny, there's tons of Monarch heroes being played, but Monarch Unlimited is still the lowest value of it all. It's baffling. But hope you guys have a great day. Again, if you're looking for a collection tracker or a way to see the values, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. If you're just looking for a way to look at your EV and take your pick and choose, I have made that tool free for the community at ev.kitchenttabletcg.com. Hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again in a little bit for another video. And again, hope you guys have yourself a great day.